What's up YouTube? It's Chris Mustache, and I must ask questions when I watch TV or movies. I'm gonna get into another review. Let's get in it. Today I'll be reviewing Carnival Row. Carnival Row is a steampunk fantasy genre Amazon Prime exclusive show. It's about a world where mythological creatures flee their home because of a war, and they go into the safety of the Burg. And the Burg is a human colony. Philo, who is a detective within the Burg, must investigate a series of murders connected to a serial killer. While he's doing this, his former lover, who is also a pixie named Vignette, comes to the Burg and threatens to reveal a secret that could expose him to the entire city. First, I want to get into what I love the most about the show. It's the writing. The writing is imaginative, it's inventive, it's incredible, and most importantly, it is well executed. René, Echevarria, and Travis Beacham, and I apologize if I pronounce those wrong, are so great at writing. They created two very well-balanced and pristine main characters, both in Philo and in Vignette. I'm going to talk about the characters a little bit more and what I liked about them and why I thought they did such a great job creating these characters. Philo, he is sympathetic to these mythological creatures, and he protects them unlike his other counterparts or other people within this city. He has that great characteristic, as well as being a great detective. He has a keen eye for seeing detail, but he also has one major flaw. He denies who he truly is, and he hurts the ones he loves. I know that sounds a little generic and a little cliche when you sum it up into one sentence, but over the course of this entire show, they execute that idea perfectly and in such a great and inventive way. During the entire show, I sympathized with him and could understand where he was coming from. So within the story itself, it was logical, the progression of his character and the growth that he went through, of him trying to discover who he really is, as well as showing how good at being a detective he is as well. We can see that he has this well-balanced character. It's not like he's all good and all bad. He is human, and he has this really great, almost breathable characteristics. Not only is he incredibly made, Vignette is also well crafted. She is like a fine wine. Over time, she just gets better and better. So from the beginning of the show, we already sort of get this idea that she's just this ex-lover, but as it progresses, we learn more about her and why she is the way she is, and this great balancing act between all these different characteristics she has. So number one, she is a badass. She's tough, she has an indomitable spirit, and she will protect her people at any cost. But just like Philo, she has a tragic flaw as well. She's stubborn and she's quick to take action without thinking it through. And those type of characteristics, those are a great balance between both. She's not all bad and she's not all good. Along with these two main characters, every other character in the show is unique and well thought out. So as the show progresses, it strays away from just focusing on Philo and Vignette and then starts going into more of the other characters. And we get to see the wealthy, we get to see criminals, we get to see policemen, and we get to see politicians. So we see all different aspects of this city in this one show. So we really get a full understanding of what's happening. My personal favorite character is a faun, but in the show they're called pucks, and he is wealthy and he has a thirst for power. In addition to the characters, the plot is addicting to watch. It's like eating a bunch of sugar or doing cocaine. Just kidding about the cocaine. It's not like doing cocaine, but it is addicting. The plot gets very intricate after the very first episode, and it really made me want to watch more after I finish every single episode. I binge watched this in about 2 days. That's just how amazing it really is. The serial killer main plot is not your run-of-the-mill serial killer plot. You may think this might be just sort of like a crime drama or a thriller, but it's much more different than that. I'm not going to ruin it, but what you'll see is that every single frame, every single piece of dialogue, every single scene on screen is vitally important to the conclusion of this show. It doesn't feel like the writers were pandering at all. They were creating a very intricate, well thought out plot to bring us to that conclusion. It felt like there was a crescendo, decrescendo, there was these movements, these acts, and it really made me want to see more. And not only was the main plot very interesting, once we get into the subplots, which also develop almost into the main plot as well, I always wanted to see more. Every character became sympathetic to a degree, and I wanted to learn more. It was really easy to get lost in this world because of all those subplots. And this city, the Burg, just breathed life. It was its own spirit. It had its own soul because of all these different characters and different plots that were happening all at the same time. The setting is a beautiful mixture of fantasy and steampunk, or also late industrial era England. So everyone in this is supposed to be British or some sort of United Kingdom variants, and I just love the aesthetic. All the interiors of the buildings were beautiful, they were captivating, they were intricate. And even the costumes too themselves were well thought out, and they were coordinated according to each individual character, what was happening. And one particular point I can really remember was there was a scene where the powerful political family are all wearing green, and you could take green meaning a lot of things. It could mean wealth and power, but it also could mean envy, because there was a lot of that going on as well during the show. So you could see that the setting was well thought out. The themes in this show are both relatable to our current social situation and also universal. So they go into themes about xenophobia. So a lot of the humans that are in the Burg do not like these creatures, these mythological creatures that are refugees. We'll see it with the policemen, with the politicians as well, but they take a nuanced approach with that theme. Not everyone hates the creatures. We can see that Philo is sympathetic to them, but also other people that are within this world, we can see that they are willing to help out the creatures. So I liked that showing of good and bad. It's not just all one or the other. It's a gray area. There are people that have different views on these type of creatures. And then the universal concept is the concept about identity and trying to discover who we really are. And again, that does sound a little cliche when I talk about it in a sentence, but the way that this show takes that theme on and really shows how much identity really affects the personal life of Philo and also other creatures and humans in this show is really beautifully done and well connected. The production is high-end and intricate. The cinematography is motivated and creative. The music heightened every scene. And along with all that, the acting was superb. Orlando Bloom did an amazing job as Philo. His Cockney accent was genuine and believable, and his type of character was a subtle strength. So he had like a quiet suffering through this entire show, which he really was able to show well in these subtle expressions in his face without being too big and too exaggerated. Along with him, Cara Delevingne, who was playing his counterpart Vignette, had a very emotional turbulence throughout this show. We'll see her grow from all these different stages within it, and I really loved how she was able to execute that without it feeling over the top. So there are times where she is at loss because of discussions she has with Philo, and then other times she is exuberant. So there is this very interesting roller coaster of emotions that she has to go through that she does so well. This show, season 1, is perfect. I'm going to be giving this show a 10 out of 10. Yes, you heard me, a perfect score. The writing, from the characters to the setting to the plot to the themes, were superb. The plot was addicting. The acting was subtle and believable. And even the way that they ended season 1 made me want to see the next one even more, because the way that they turn around the show in the end makes me want to see what's around the corner. And if you're just wondering what kind of show this is, if you wanted to relate it to something else to see if this is really of interest to you, it actually gives me vibes from Game of Thrones. So like Game of Thrones, they have all those subplots going on while a main plot is going forward. So that kind of concept is within this show, and I'm sure you guys will love it. Let me know what you guys thought of this show. Put it in the comments below. You can check it out on Amazon Prime, so they got a lot of original content. Check it out if you can, and remember to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.